in Unit 9 is knowing how to convert measurements. And what you can do today, you can apply proportions and scale factors to convert those measurements. When we convert, what you want to do is create a proportion with the conversion factor. That conversion factor is also known as the scale factor. They are the same thing. And on that conversion chart I gave you, it's all these little things are conversion factors or scale factors. Like 1 yard is to 3 feet. 1 meter is to 100 centimeters. 1 minute is to 60 seconds. Those are all scale factors, or you can call it conversion factors. But since our standard is more aligned with scale factors, I'm going to use that as my vocabulary. Okay, using scale factors, I want to know how many inches are in 45 feet. So I identify the scale factor that I'm going to use. I want inch and feet. So I find inch and feet, which is right here. 1 foot is to 12 inches. That's my scale factor. So I have foot is to inches, right? 1 foot is to 12 inches as, and now if it's 45 feet, where should the 45 go? Where does feet go? At the top. It sure does go at the top. And then you use your beautiful calculating device.
Yeah.
That is, you should have your own here. 45 times 12 is equal to 540 inches. Again, what I did, I identified the scale factor that I was going to use, and then just created a proportion like we did in Unit 6 and Unit 7. Yep. Okay, next one. How many pints in 5 gallons? So I look for my scale factor. My scale factor is right up here, our lovely G. So I have gallon is to pint is what I'm going to do, because my gallon is the 1. So I have 1 gallon is to how many pints are in one of those gallons?
8.
Yeah, right? 2, 4, 6, and 8. 1 gallon is to 8 pints. And I want to know how many pints in 5 gallons. So where does that 5 go? Top or bottom?
Top.
Sure does go on the top. So it would be 40 pints. Again, some of you might just multiply by 8, but our real learning target here is to be able to utilize a scale factor and create a proportion. That's our goal. Okay, how many pounds in 36 ounces? Bring in my little chart down here. Pounds to ounces, where do we have it? 1 pound is 16 ounces. That's my scale factor. So I have 1 is to 16, and I have pound is to ounce. Feel free to write that down so you remember which one goes on top or bottom. And where does that 36 go? Goes on the bottom, because that's where my ounces is. Goes on the bottom. And I get 36 divided by 16, applying the cross product, 2.25 pounds. Do you feel like you can do this at a level 3 or 4-ish? Here's a level 4-ish, multi-step problems. How many seconds are in 1 day? So I had to kind of create a different, I think I did 2 of them approximately when I went through this. So I don't know the scale factor for seconds today. It is definitely not on there. So I'm going to say that 1 minute is to 60 seconds. It's not where you had to start. Some of you could have used a different scale factor, but I'm just starting with the scale factor I know, okay? So I'm saying 1 minute is to 60 seconds as, well, how many minutes in an hour? 60. I'm trying to get myself to a day, so I'm going to say as 60 minutes is to how many seconds? Again, I said I got myself to an hour because I want to get myself to 24 hours in a day. Okay? So that would would be 3,600. Okay? So then, now I know, so there's 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. Do you agree with that scale factor? That's what I just analyzed. I just analyzed that 60 minutes is equal to 3,600 seconds. Okay? Now I'm going to turn 1 hour is to 3,600 seconds. And then how many hours in a day? As 24 hours is to how many seconds? So I just had to create two proportions, multi-step problem. And then I go 3,600 times 24 is 86,400 little seconds. Dare you to count all of them, I dare you.
No, I'll do it. I'll do the
Okay, so there we go. Again, I had to create 2 different proportions and determine a scale factor for that second one. How many feet are in 100 inches? Okay, so I know my scale factor is 1 foot is to 12 inches, right? Feet to inch, that's my scale factor. 1 foot is to 12 inches. And I want 100 inches. So where does that 100 go? Top is feet. Bottom is inches. That's why I like to write that down. I like to write down what I'm comparing. So 100 divided by 12 is 8.3 repeating. And they'd probably say 8 feet, whatever. Okay? All right. So last thing with today, you got one more part of your notes for today, is being able to analyze it with square areas instead. So that gets a little bit more complicated. Okay, so here I want to know how many square inches are in 120 square feet. Before I can analyze that, I need to know how many square inches in, so I want to know how many square inches in 1 square foot. That's what I need to know. I have to know that conversion factor. Because it's not 1 is to 12. It's not 1 inch or 1 foot is to 12 inches. It's square. So if you think about a square foot, it's 1 foot by 1 foot. Do you agree with that? And then how many inches are in 1 foot? 12. So this is really 12 inches by 12 inches. So 1 square foot is how many square inches? 144. 12 times 12. So I know that 144 square inches is to 1 square foot, and I don't write it like that. I don't like it that way. I'm going to do foot on top. Square feet is to square inches. So I know that 1 square foot is really 144 square inches. Because I did a little unit rate, and I knew 1 by 1, 1 foot by 1 foot is the same as 12 inches by 12 inches, which is 144 inches. And then I want 120 square feet. So where does this square feet go? Top or bottom? Top. And so then I just use the cross product. 144 times 120 is 17,280 square inches are in 120 square feet. We should have did this middle one first. That's the deriving one. But I made this lesson a little on the late side. But this makes sense to do this one first. How many square inches are in 1 square foot? Well, here's a square foot. 1 foot by 1 foot. Make this look nice so you know where these numbers are coming from. Well, I know 1 foot by 1 foot is the same as saying 12 inches to 12 inches, right? Because that conversion factor of 1 foot is 12 inches. And then I know that area is 12 times 12, which is 144. So in square feet, I'm actually going to do it like this. Feet squared, 2 inches squared, 1 foot squared is to 144 inches squared. Okay, and then applying that same concept. How many square centimeters in a square meter? So I'm going to look at my centimeters a meter. So there's my conversion factor. 1 meter is to 100 centimeters. Let me extend this page. So I know 1 meter is to 100 centimeters. That's what I know. So then I want to know if I have a square meter, that means 1 by 1. How many square centimeters am I going to have? Well, if that's a meter, then how many centimeters in a meter? 100 by 100, which would be 1 and 4 zeros. Okay, 10,000 square centimeters. Okay? So, you do have to do just a little, when we're talking about area, you can't just use a scale factor. You have to analyze what the area actually is. Okay?